I can't believe I'm doing a serious video. So I'm going to be opening up about my past a little bit. It's kind of trigger warning, so, but if it helps you guys not make the exact same mistakes that I did, and maybe it would help. Also, if you hear screaming in the background, that's my mom's dog. He's in his kennel because I can't have him running around upstairs because I have important stuff that I still need to put away. So, here we go. So the reason why I want to open up about my past is that in case this thing comes up, this thing that I'm doing right now, if it comes full-time for me and this is the career that I want to choose, better me explaining everything now rather than in the near future, in case any of it gets leaked out from the two people involved in the story. So it's very dramatic for me. So let me get right into it. So I'm 2 years old when this happened. I'm 22 right now, so this happened 20 years ago. It's, very, when I was little, my eardrum erupted a lot when I was little, and caused me to have really bad ear infections. My parents brought me to the doctors a lot. They gave me medications, and supposedly all the holes healed except for one. That I found out later when I was 16. I later became half deaf, which means my hearing was below normal, and I couldn't understand the world around me as well as people with normal hearing and all of that. So growing up, I had an extremely rough childhood. I was constantly bullied a lot, and it let that get to me. Also, I had a very, very bad temper to the point where I just snap automatically without warning. So it happened to be one of these days. My 8th grade year, I was struggling a lot with still being constantly bullied a lot, and that caused me to have a very bad snap moment where I just full on just lost it. So let me explain that day. So if you guys don't know this, my dad's a science teacher, and my parents decided that I would attend the exact same school that he taught at. That way, teachers can go up to him and say, "Hey, this is what Ashley's doing right now." Yes, my real name's Ashley, not Wolfmaster, but either way. So he can fully understand what's going on with me, and that he can get report cards and look at them before they get to my mom. So then he wasn't in the room when this happened. He was, I think, in the teacher's lounge. None of the teachers were in the rooms, which was a really bad mistake. I also was going through rough times at this point because I was being, constantly bullied a lot. Also, my grandfather wasn't doing well at the time. This is when I was 14, almost 15. I lost my grandpa at 15 to pancreatic cancer. So, yeah. So the two older boys, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want I don't want to get sued or anything like that. So they came into the room, and I basically threatened them with a knife, which I shouldn't have done, but I just full on snapped. They ended up telling the teacher after I had left and put the knife back where I found it. And my dad came to the room where I was, my first period class, and he asked me where the knife was, and I said, "It's in your room." We went to go talk to my middle school principal. She wasn't there, so we had to go to the higher up, which was the high school / superintendent. We were in a very small school. I broke down into tears, told him what happened. He said, okay, let me call your mother. So Mom, my dad, and I were in the room. They asked me why I did it, and I didn't want to tell them the truth because, then they would be like, oh, why didn't you come and tell the teacher or an adult? Because they don't believe you. They always believe the person who is bullying you, and that's the issues in today's society. So then the superintendent said, well, basically, you have two options. Either Ashley gets suspended for 2 days and sees a therapist, or she goes to juvenile prison. My parents, I wanted to go to prison because I thought that was the best option for me and a very good punishment. But my parents and superintendent thought that the 2-day suspension and the therapist might be a better option. I later apologized to both of the boys. They accepted my apologies, and I was banned to talk to them throughout the rest of the school year. After I got done with my suspension, I live on a farm, so half of my punishment was doing farm chores, which I really hate doing. And the therapist sat down with me, and she noticed how extremely hyper I am, and I cannot hold still in class because that's how I am. I'm too wired to sit down. I'm always up and active. And she goes, oh, Ashley has ADHD. Let's give her medication for it. So I broke down into tears and I said, I don't want to take drugs for something that I do not have. I'm not diagnosed with ADHD whatsoever. So she's like, oh, well, we'll bring it up with your parents. Yeah, that was a bad idea. Mom looked like she wanted to kill her. My mom sat there and she very calmly said, Ashley is not ADHD. She's just a very extremely hyper child, and that's how she has been for her entire life, which is true. It's like I had caffeine within me. So I saw the therapist my 8th grade year up until half of my junior year, I think, and they were like, oh, Ashley is cured. The therapist worked. No, the therapist had nothing to do with it. It was actually my mother. My mom and I sat down and she explained to me if I were ever to lose my temper again to do breathing exercises, which actually works. So yeah, that's how it happened. So now that you know about my past, it's really important to not do the exact same mistake that I did. It's very, very scary of what happened. And I wish I've never done that. I full on regret it. I do. I really, really do. I'm a changed person right now. I'm in better control of my temperament. Most days I snap just a little bit, but not a full on snap like I did my 8th grade year. So my advice to you guys out there, if you're getting bullied, is to either sit down with your parents and explain to them what's happening, turn to music, turn to apps like TikTok like I did, because one of my former friends introduced me to TikTok, and I now use that as a calming mechanism. I would watch Jennings, who's really, really good. I suggest you guys go follow him. He's very, very good. Ethan Trace, the Crows Bros, Clap Daddy, Quiva, Jake, the tattoo artist. They are really, really good. They have amazing, amazing content, and I can't stress of how amazing they are. Speaking of Jennings, I actually spoke with him last night, and he said the quarantine must be affecting your workplace too. And I said, yeah, we're on permanent lockdown at the nursing home where I work. And to be able to work, you have to go to the nurse's station before you clock in for work. They take your temperature. If it's 100 degrees or over, you're sent home. My temperature last night was 97 degrees, so I was good to work. So just be safe, be cautious out there. If you're in school, ignore those who bully you and harass you. Look on the bright side. Always be cheery and happy all the time. And trust me, it does get better. When I was 15 and 18 years old, I tried taking my own life, and I ended up sitting down and talking to someone about it. When I was 15, I spoke to my now former friend, and she suggested music. At 18, again, I almost tried taking my own life, and I turned to my cousin, and we actually sat down and we chit-chatted, my fourth cousin. And yeah, it helps that a lot. So if you're getting constantly bullied or you're thinking about suicide, talk to anyone. You can talk to me, talk to Jennings, talk to Ethan, talk to basically anyone who it will actually stand there and take their time to actually listen to what you have to say. I hope you guys learn from my mistakes, and I hope you don't make the exact same mistakes as I did. What I did was wrong, and I realized that at the time. If you guys are wondering, yes, I actually had surgery to repair the huge hole in my eardrum, and I can hear normally now, so that was big. So if you're in school, work hard, accomplish your dreams, follow your dreams. If you're working, crush your responsibilities at work and work hard each and every day. This is your girl Wolf Master. You guys are the Wolf Pack. This is me signing off. Bye-bye.